Hi y'all. So I came across this post when I was scrolling this Incline Facebook group, and they posted about this case, so I became interested, so I decided to make a video about it. So let's go over this. So this Joe Hart is from channel called KRNV. This Joe guy has this Ask Joe segment on the news, which apparently investigates cases. And this one day ago, so he posted, Washoe County Sheriff's Office quiet about death of Incline village man in June. So isn't this interesting? Another case where Sheriff's Office in Tahoe or nearby Tahoe area doesn't release much information. So you see, even media is asking about why Washoe County Sheriff's Office is quiet about this death. It's been 5 months since 54-year-old Jeff McCune was found dead at a home near Jeffrey Street and Hazel Court in Incline Village, but no arrests have been made. The Sheriff's Office offered no suspect information when I asked. They will only say they are actively investigating the case and they don't feel there is any threat to the public. Well, let's hope they are actually actively investigating and not just actively investigating, not investigating, like it seems in the Kyle Rodney case. The medical examiner says the manner of death was homicide and that McCune was stabbed in the neck or cut with a sharp object. I spoke with McCune's mother, who lives in Arizona, and she told me it's no secret who killed her son. And she calls it inexplicable that authorities have not arrested the suspect. Donna Murphy says the grief she feels from losing her son is compounded by the fact that the case remains unsolved. If you have any information about what happened, you're asked to call secret witness at, and there's the phone number if you happen to know about this case. It seems locals know, family knows who did it. So what is going on? It's homicide, but it can also be like self-defense if the suspect is claiming that. And here is the man. Let's go over the comments. Thanks, Joe. I live about 100 yards from the scene of the homicide, and something doesn't add up here. No arrest, but no threat doesn't make sense. If it was self-defense, just tell us. Yeah, exactly. Like, if it is self-defense, then the case should be closed and there would be no problem telling to the public what happened. But it seems there's more. But why family, locals, media is asking why Washoe County Sheriff's Office isn't said anything about this case? It is strange that it's gone this long without an arrest, and law enforcement hasn't reached out to the public asking for help either. And someone answers, the only logical deduction is self-defense. Possibly. I'm not sure there's any indication the victim was armed in any way. But you're right, they could be looking at self-defense, and they may only have the suspect's version of what happened. We live up the street too. Rumor has it it was all caught on ring video and was self-defense. So now there's even video. So what's going on? Like this reporter says, you would think the case would be wrapped up then. Dot 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 question mark. Exactly. And I feel with I feel with Carson City and whatever their department is doing about whatever mysterious and head scratching whatever's going on with my friends drowning and the finding of Robert White, aka Bobby White. It's not that defending or funding or defunding is not about what is what is it about. I would like to know too very much. Thanks, Joe. Always for what you do. Happy holidays to you and your family, and happy holidays to everybody's family, including one of my best friends. And this is interesting. He is bringing up another case, and apparently he is implying there's something going on with Carson City and their police department, maybe. Another drowning case, which seems. Wait, is it drowning or what's going on? I'll keep asking about that one. When I last spoke with Sheriff Furlong at the Carson City Sheriff's Office, he felt pretty confident that Bobby White is still alive. There have been some reported sightings, but no actual signs of him. It's a real mystery. Wait, what? There's a drowning case, and apparently the person is still alive. There's sightings, but no actual signs of it. Interesting. I will certainly help as much as I can. I still have my sister and my brother still living in Carson City and a couple of friends. Well, James's employer, Bobby Thind, he's the part owner of the Frontier Motel, aka doing business as the Royal Inn Motel here in Carson City at 1718 North Carson Street. As a matter of fact, he was the one that told me that James was murdered. I found that curious as it wasn't a murder. It's serious drowning or it's just a drowning? Wait, what? Someone claims. Wait, what? The drowning victim was murdered? And now this is saying it's either a drowning serious drowning. What? I'm confused myself. Yeah, but I'll do things and try to find out more about this. Robert White, oh, and also Robert Silo, another employee and a good friend of mine, and James was also taking his head about Robert White. But all of a sudden, now Robert won't talk to me. Very good, sir. We'll keep in contact with each other. Texting is a good thing. And did I see that you have 2 boys, 2 children? And you were in Washington State as a younger man. Am I right about that? Well, one thing I know for sure. I want to wish you, your family, a merry, merry, merry Christmas. You know how much I love elephants, don't you? I'm still looking for a job working with animals, and it looks very good so far. With Big Cat Sanctuary, and I think it's in Sarasota, Florida. Well, I'm sure it is. I talking to the boss who does the hiring, who is the son of the owner. They don't just take care of the cats. They take care of many animals that need, well, any animals that are in need, I can do that. Wait, what? there's lot going on with this reply. Interesting. Hmm. Not sure how credible this person is, but interesting. Oh wow, who does Donna suspect? So it's the victim's mom. And Joe answers, I'm not going to name the person unless they are arrested or charged. Yeah, media is not going to give any names if it's not the law enforcement saying, yeah, this is the guy or something like that. Person of interest or suspect or somebody we like to talk with. Media won't just throw names out there because, well, there could be lawsuits. I'm assuming you provided that name to law enforcement. I'm confident, based on what I have heard and who was reportedly at the house when this happened, that detectives already know who the person is. Interesting. So, this Joe, news reporter from KRNV, knows who the suspect is, unless it was self defense. So, what is going on with Washoe County Sheriff's Office? What? It was in June and now almost December. And here is the post about this on this Incline village who shared this. And let's go over the comments. The amount of stuff that happens here and is kept quiet is weird. Yeah, true that. I mean, even the locals are saying that. So it seems people in England just want to spill the beans. Because I have seen some other stuff too, but it's about the city council or something like that, and they are just being boomers and telling all kind of stuff there that they're not afraid to tell what is going on and names and who they think is corrupted. So while England Village is more about just spilling the beans, it seems Truckee is more like community, 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 and just like holding it together and not giving anything out. But here they are just like, yeah, the stuff that happens, it's weird. And then the next person answers one word, money. It was out the same night, anything but kept quiet. Yeah, but what they mean about quiet is that Washoe County Sheriff's Office isn't giving anything out. It's again Washoe County not giving much information. And the thing is, Washoe County Sheriff's Office, the medical examiner, they don't have to give autopsies, not in if you make FOIA request, because you have to be next of kin to get the autopsy. So when I tried to get the Yuba couple's autopsy, they said I'm not a next of kin, so I can't have it. So it's just the law in Nevada, but it difficult a little bit, like how you will investigate corruption when you can't get like these medical examiners or law enforcement files that should be public knowledge. And if there is something sensitive, they can always redact that. If the mother of Jeff, who lives in Arizona, feels sure the person who did this is obvious, one would think there are also locals who knew Jeff who can add information to help solve this horrible act. I don't know any of the people involved, but I'm hoping for resolution and justice here. My condolences to everyone affected. I wonder if this happened at the house I lived in on Hazel Court for a few years. The only house on Hazel Court, actually. I remember seeing this headline, unfortunately. One time when I lived there, we had a random guy park in the middle of our driveway and walk to the next cul-de-sac up and attempt to break into a house. The wife screamed and husband apprehended him. Weird stuff has quietly been happening in this town for a while. It's odd that more people on this page like or respond to very trivial matters. Lines at the post office, etc. when someone was murdered at their own home. Yeah. I was surprised too and did a search in this group before sharing. Expect, expected to find at least one post. Also odd that no info on the no secret suspect. Has to be someone that has info on the suspect. My guess is the police have a pretty good idea of who did it, but the evidence isn't there yet for conviction, and they are avoiding publicity in the hopes that a guy or girl gets overconfident and makes a mistake. That's my optimistic guess. Yeah, that's what I thought in the Kylie Rodney case, but yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't seem that way that someone is investigating that case, but let's let's stay optimistic still. Maybe, but public pressure also works, especially in a small community like England. True that. What a tragedy. So very sad. Why has an arrest not happened if the mother knows who did it? Shouldn't take 5 months to put a case together? It's called evidence. Exactly. Tragic. Knew him through performing in the Follies. I wonder who this victim was because I haven't sleuthted at all. So, was he like a performer or what? Jeff was such a good guy. When I worked at the Hyatt, he would come in and was always so polite and friendly, treating me and the other staff with the utmost courtesy and respect. My heart goes out to his family. He was a good guy, truly a tragedy. I heard about it when it first happened and have been following up to see if there has been anything new. Not a peep. The news desert that we live in has gotten worse. I'm not necessarily on the page that we are safe from this person. Thank you, Joe Hart. So sad, Jeff was a good friend. It seems like people have nothing but good to say about this person, so condolences to the family, and I hope this will get solved and resolution to the family what happened, like what is going on, getting killed in your own home and everybody knows the suspect. There's a ring video, but no one is telling much like what is going on, not the series of it, no one. What? I found this news for article and video about this case, so let's watch it.
Time to see what's on our viewers' minds as we check the Ask Joe file. This question has to do with an unsolved murder case in our area. Miles, our viewer, wrote in asking if there's any new information about the death of Jeff McCune, who died back in June in Incline Village. Well, this case really hasn't gotten much attention. Jeff McCune was found dead in his home in Incline Village. We don't have any pictures of him, but it happened in the area of Jeffrey Street and Hazel Court in Incline. It's up near the fire station as you're driving down the Mount Rose Highway into Incline Village. Here's a street level view of that neighborhood. You can see beautiful homes and a heavily wooded residential area there. But this was a murder scene back on June 23rd. Now, what do we know about this case? Not a whole lot. Jeff McCune died of a sharp, blunt force injury to the neck. That's according to the medical examiner, so he was either stabbed or cut, they say, and that was back in June. It's now November, and the Washoe County Sheriff's Office says no arrests have been made. Now, at the time, they did say this was an isolated case and that there's no threat to the public, but the Sheriff's Office would not provide a suspect description when I asked about this. Now, one interesting twist to this story, perhaps, is that Jeffrey Wendell McCune of Incline, the exact same name as the murder victim, was convicted in 2017 for a hit-and-run DUI crash that left the victim severely injured. Now, McCune was sentenced to 1 year in prison. Is that case relevant in any way to the murder case? The Sheriff's Office would not say. So, tight-lipped is a pretty good description of how detectives are treating this case. And really, that's all we know right now. So thanks to Miles for writing in about this case. We'll keep asking. And thanks to the Sheriff's Office for getting back to us with that update on this investigation. Remember, if you do have any questions you'd like to ask, any topics, send me an email or reach out on Facebook, and I'll do my best to track down the answers you are looking for. Back to you.
All right. So that was a nice segment. This Joe guy has really looked into this case, and I would love to see this kind of segment on Kylie Rodney case. And it's interesting that the man who was killed was in DUI in, when was it? 2017. McCune was convicted of a DUI hit and crash in 2017, but the Sheriff's Office would not say if that case has any connection to McCune's murder. So that's interesting thing to know. I found this article about the sentencing about the victim. It's from Record Courier. Incline Village man sentenced in Carson City felony hit and run crash. Oh, it was hit and run. I thought he just hit and deal with it and didn't run. Jeffrey McCune of Incline Village was sentenced to a year in prison in the hit and run crash last April. And remember, this is from 2017. While imposing the felony conviction, District Judge Todd Russell placed McCune on probation instead of sending him to prison, citing his clean record, except for this incident, and noting that everything you have done since this accident is to your credit. I think you're very fortunate you are not going to prison, said Russell. Yeah, true that. But it deserves a felony. Russell said leaving the scene of the April 3rd accident at College Parkway and Carson Street was that bothered him the most. McCune pled guilty in the case. His blood alcohol level was 9.28 at the time, more than 3 times the legal limit. Well, there isn't much about what happened to the other driver of the other vehicle, but he's seriously injured. So, is this has something to do with it? Who knows? I found his obituary from what is this? Neptune Society. If you Google it, it should come up. Jeffrey Jeff Wendell McCune. And let's see, we can find out. He was known to his family and countless friends as luminary in his personal and professional life. Beloved father, brother, son, and cherished friend. Passed on June 23rd, 2023. Born to Donna Murphy and Ronald McCune. So Donna is then his mom. Like, remember what was on the Facebook page? Someone asked us, Donna now, this aspect. Jeff's life was marked by relentless determination, outstanding athletic prowess, and a heart that cared deeply for those around him. And then there's his sisters and 4 daughters, Chandler, Devon, Victoria, and Savannah. A doting grandfather, Redford, Rowan, and yet to be born granddaughter, all of whom he adored immensely. It sounds he was a hard worker, but it doesn't say anything what he did. But he was awarded Achievement of CEO and founder of Investor Funding Capital. So he was an investor. But as much he was a titan in the business world, Jeff was equally, if not more, dedicated to his family and friends. So he wasn't a performer like I thought. Yeah, interesting that there isn't much news about this. He cherished activities like golfing, pedicures, and these days. Pedicures, really? How much can you enjoy them? Apparently a lot. And then there is about family, friendships, and business. It's kind of the thing. And there is legacy and many lives he touched, and he will always be remembered. Nice obituary. And hope this case will get solved and not just thrown in the bin and just be like, yeah, we are investigating, but not really investigating. Just hope. They just hope people will forget this. But it sounds, but I think because this is some business person and known, like this investor titan, I'm pretty sure the law enforcement will investigate this, because I feel like this family has money to pursue justice, and well, money can bring justice in some cases. So I found some news clips from the 2 News. Search continues for 2 missing kayakers in the Brunswick Canyon area. Let's watch this.
And the Carson City Sheriff's Office says it's continuing the search for 2 missing kayakers. In an update today, the Sheriff's Office tells us it's now using drones to help in finding these 2 men. As we've been following, James Martin and Robert White were reported missing Wednesday. Deputies say the 2 went into Brunswick Canyon to kayak the Carson River. Investigators found their car nearby, but still no sign of either of them. The Sheriff's Office is asking people avoid the Carson River if possible due to how high and fast the water is flowing right now.
So that was about it. And here is the man. So it's the person on the right that is still missing. That is, oh my god, that's awful to the family. And this is from a Facebook group called Search and Rescue and Recovery Nevada. And here someone posted about Bobby White still missing, July 13th. Bobby White is one of the kayakers at Brunswick Canyon in Carson City, Nevada, the Carson River. He is still missing. His sister has got no answers, and after finding the other body, this story is fading away. He has family and friends who adore him. His smile could light up a room. People keep walking the river looking for signs, kayaks, anything, and still no signs of Bobby. His sister is Cherry Jacobson. Please, any suggestions or anything are greatly appreciated. Original post is in Carson City Sheriff page. This happened before July 4th, 2023. It's on most news channels also. And this is the man. So sad. Still nothing. This is from the Sacramento Bee and July 6th, 2023. Kayakers set out on a day trip to Nevada River, but haven't returned in days, cops say. Two men vanished after going on a day trip to kayak, and Nevada River authorities said. James Martin, 59, and Robert Bobby White, 52, went to the Brunswick Canyon area to kayak the Carson River on July 2nd. Carson City Sheriff's Office said in a Facebook post. They haven't been heard from in days, deputies said. Search and rescuers found their empty vehicle in the area with no sign of the man, deputies said. Rescuers are looking for them in the canyon area. As a general safety reminder, the Carson area experienced a high volume of rain and snowfall this year, and Carson River waters are abnormally high and fast. Please avoid the area, deputies said. And here is the post. Update July 8th. Media release. Media contact Surgeon Brett J. Bindley. Body recovered from Carson River identified. So the dispatch received calls regarding the sighting of a dead body in the Carson River, approximately 1.7 miles east of the Brunswick Canyon Bridge. The body was lodged in debris in the water near dangerous rapids. A swift water rescue team was requested from the Carson City Fire Department, along with Sheriff's Office search and rescue team members. Members of both teams successfully extricated the body from the river rapids. The operation resulted in the closure of the canyon recreation area for several hours, but is now back open to the public. The remains were identified as James Eugene Martin, 59 years old, of Mount House, Nevada. James was reported missing on July 5th after not returning from a kayaking trip that started on July 2nd. James was reported missing with another person, Robert White, who still has not been located. Search efforts and the investigation into Robert's whereabouts continue. Anyone with information on Robert's whereabouts or any other information about this case is asked to call Carson City Dispatch or Sergeant Brett Bindley. This is apparently the first media contact. Sergeant Darren Riggin. Missing kayakers last seen in the Brunswick Canyon area. So sad. Let's see if there's anything in the comments. We saw 2 men that fit these descriptions yesterday in this area. The dog-haired man had fallen out of his kayak and was hiking up the hill while the other man was catching up to try overturned kayak. Did you tell the sheriff of last known locations, Padet? That will help narrow down the search. This is what I have from my phone, and here is the location. At 1 p.m. This is 20 weeks ago, so I'm not sure about the days, and this is probably before the one person was found. Please read Carson City Sheriff's Office. Interesting that they haven't responded. It looks like what you got a picture of. I'm just saying. That's not even of them. Please help look for my dad. He's just saying that was me and a buddy. I'm plenty experienced person. Pictures taking a less experienced person through. We had all appropriate gear and made it just fine other than 2 mishaps, bad timing with apparently similar kayaks. But we are just fine and would appreciate this info being taken down. Oh, sorry. So this is nothing then. It was some other dudes. That's why law enforcement probably didn't say anything, but they could have said like, yeah, it's not them. Carson now just reported that they are responding to a body found in Brunswick Canyon. Update 5:30 p.m. Deceased has been tentatively identified as one of the missing kayakers whose name is being withheld until next of kin is notified. The canyon has been cleared and is now open to the public. Well, there's still one body there, so not sure it has been cleared. Bobby White kayaking? Yeah, right, with a dude. Come on, people. That was my first thought too. Same. Oh my god, these people seem to know this person. I hope they are not joking. Like, they are for real and he would be never kayaking. Interesting. What happened? What's going on? This is where we saw the 2 kayakers yesterday that were struggling. And there's the coordinates. Hopefully you gave this info to Carson City Service Department. Is that where they are doing rescue? Close, but it's not them. No. I wonder if... Is this Chris person the same as this? No, it was some Rebecca Sands. And this is Chris Van During. Praying they find them. Thank you, that's my dad. I'm so sorry. Thank you, I'm still trying to find answers. Delphi Martin says, I'm still trying to find answers. And this was 17 weeks ago. Chris Van During, so this is so this is the person who responded here and set the coordinates. These guys were struggling kayaking. Julie Ford, 1 yellow kayak and 1 blue. The blue kayak was upside down. The kayaker from the blue kayak came floating down a couple minutes later and got out of the river across from us. He didn't have shoes on. He struggled through the sage brush up to the road. His friend beached both kayaks down river. We last saw both of them walking back toward the beach's kayaks. The kayaker in the blue kayak was wearing black watersuit life jacket. So strange. It's the same color kayaks. Maybe someone found the kayaks. Hopefully, if they did, they'll say something. Still no response from the sheriff. Is there any new information? What is rescue doing about it? Have you heard if that was them? I have not. I reported to CC Sheriff, Carson City Sheriff. They are very similar in appearance. Hey, that was us. We are totally fine. One very experienced person taking less experienced person down. Sometimes kayakers swim, not a big deal. We had all appropriate gear, including wetsuits and dry suits, helmets and life jackets. Stuff these men did not have. Good looking out, but this information is possibly hurtful in efforts and I wouldn't mind it being taken down. Cherry Jacobson. Thank you, but that's not them. Cherry Jacobson. My brother would never leave his truck there, and James wouldn't leave his girlfriend, Cindy, to hang out with my brother. I wonder what that's all about, but apparently there are a lot of kayakers and people just decides to take photos of them and it just happens it's not them. Interesting. Someone says, and they went on the 2nd, not the 4th. You would think like this kind of like, I don't know, important days would be like important in missing person case, but apparently not. They were seen getting out of water. They disappeared on purpose. That's my opinion, but never know God. Be with them no matter what. Yeah, but the other person has been found from the water, so wasn't disappearance on purpose unless there's something more info about the other guy that made it out. Like, it's interesting. Like, let's go back to this and what this person said about this kayaker. Fred Corsia. Carson City Department is doing whatever mysterious and head scratching, whatever's going on with my friends drowning and the finding of Robert White, aka Bobby White. Interesting that Sheriff Furlong at the Carson City Sheriff's Office felt pretty confident that Bobby White is still alive. Can you believe that? What's going on? There have been some reported sightings, but no actual signs of him. It's a real mystery. So, why the other person is dead then in the river? Like, did he have something to do with it and is now hiding, or what is going on? Because I don't think like you go with a friend kayaking and then the other one dies and you go purposely missing, and that was the plan the whole time. Like, the obviously the plan was like both of them would disappear on purpose, but accidentally the other one just happened to die when planting the evidence to the river. That sounds crazy. Anyway, that was it. This was a lot of cases came from one case, and I'm now exhausted. And even though this wasn't about Kylie, hopefully you still found this video interesting, and yeah, thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.